I've been looking at this component for a few minutes here. It's from Avante. I upcycled this months ago, probably last year sometime. And I'm trying to decide if these loops on the end are going to look right for adding beads. Those are pretty heavy duty. I made it into a pendant before. First of all, to remove this loop, I need to open this up here. Get a good grip, a really good grip, and remove this. Slip it out of there because it doesn't have a cut in it, and then close it back up. And when I say close it back up, I might need to give it a little pinch because I'm trying to close it up right here. They're not perfectly the same shape, and I am concerned that if I put wire through here that it might slip out. But the best idea I have so far on using this is, first of all, let's get some wire, 49 strand wire. And let's start with about 11 inches. Well, no, I don't think we need that much. Let's go with 9 inches, and let's cut 2 pieces. So this is what I'm thinking. If we want to make a 2-strand bracelet with this, we put this wire through here. My concern is that it might slip out. So therefore, we probably need to put some small beads on this. And I kind of bent up my wire, so I'm going to cut that off. Working with some of these same beads, because I'm thinking maybe I could just use up some of the seed beads, and maybe I could just alternate the color a little bit, because we have some aqua blue ones here, and just alternate that with the copper just to bring a punch of color in and to use up the beads. How's that? Nothing wrong with that. These are glass beads. So let's get some on here and I'll speed this up. I just want enough to fill in this space. That's all I'm going for. So I have a few beads sticking out on each side. Let's just work one side at a time. And let's see what other beads we can work in. How about if we bring in some wood beads? I think I'm going to put these in another bowl. Now, I have a combination of wood and these are plastic, and I can tell, I can see where this was molded, so I can see the seam here, but that's okay. We can still work these in. This is an elastic stretch bracelet, and it has a bunch of wood beads on here. And I see it crosses over. Of course it does. It crosses over through the round bead in the middle. I'm just going to cut this. In fact, I'm going to cut these down through the center to make this a little faster to take apart, as I have beads jumping all over the place. I'll be right back. I've got it apart and I want to show you something here. Listen to the sound of a wood bead. Let me set it down. Versus the plastic. Or resin, call it what you want. I ordered a batch of wood beads, and the seller said they were all wood, but actually all of these with the seams are plastic or resins. So I didn't get exactly what I thought I was ordering. I thought these were little wood carved beads, and they did say that they were directly from India, so even though I bought them in the US. So okay, they're not all wood, but we'll make them work. So I have some of my seed beads on here, and I think I'm going to put a small wood bead, because, you know, boho is natural materials and earthy colors, so I thought we'd start with the wood bead and then see what else we can work in. I really don't have many turquoise beads left here. The chips are pretty small. I think I've got all of them pulled. Let's still try to work in some, and I'll alternate again with some seed beads. Everyone wants to be swept off their feet. Oh, Let's do that on each side. I thought about doing random, but we'll see here. See how that works out. That's what we have so far. And let's add another wood bead. And even though these aren't wood, let's go ahead and add this faux wood bead because I like the pattern on it. Clip that off here and repeat the same thing over here. Trying to pick up the same size, similar size wood bead. So what I'm thinking is, we're doing a 2-strand bracelet like this, with this southwestern metal component being our focal point. Now, do we have the ability, well, you know what, we have 2 of these beads, although they're different colors. These have a lot of brown in them, they're really rough, but let's see what happens. Maybe I should have had more wire. Let's see what happens if we bring the wire in to here. And then go back to single. Although I'm thinking maybe I need a small bead right before that. Let's do that. Let's put a small bead on each of these. And let's come back to this mix here. We've got some cool looking beads. Let's see if I have 4 of these. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Well, they're coming together better than I thought. I thought at first they weren't going to come together here, but maybe they were too big. Maybe I do need just a small bead. Let's do some 6/0s. I haven't used these at all yet. And then go through here. I like this crazy bead here with all the brown. So that's what we've got here. I'm going to stop right now on that side because I want to make sure that I have enough beads of the same or similar to do the other side. This is one time where I do want to make both sides the same. So I'm going to go back to alternating the copper and the aqua. Oop, I lost it. I had just enough that they were just a little bit exposed on both sides. I didn't actually count them. And as I'm looking here, I think I have too many beads on here. Let's try the wood beads and see where we are. See how it looks. See if it matches up to the other side. Well, now I feel like I need another bead. How does it look now? I have 1 bead too many. Because the beads are irregular in size, I wasn't really trying to count them. Okay, I think we've got it. So let's go ahead and build out this side and make sure that we have enough of these turquoise chips to do that. I'm going to work one side at a time. Let's go ahead and finish with the same pattern that we have here. Just going to barely make it with these chipstones. But that's all we have to do is make it. I have other turquoise chipstones, but you know, they can all be very different in color. So I'm trying to just work with the ones that came from this original jewelry that I took it from. These are a little bit smaller over here, but I don't know. I'm wondering if I should take one larger one from each one of these and put a larger one over here. If I'm going to do it, now's the time to do it. I kind of hate to take this apart, but I feel like I need at least one larger stone in the center of each of these. I'll do it off camera and be right back. This is what we have so far. I've balanced these out as much as I can. I think, I'm just checking my pattern here. I guess I could have put a seed bead before the first turquoise bead. I didn't do that on either side, but I could have. Oh, goodness. Decisions. I think I will. This is where we are with things. I had to take a few minutes off camera because I discovered that the seed beads were slipping inside the wood beads. Yes, the hole was too large in the wood beads, so the seed beads kept slipping in, so I had to reconfigure this just a little bit. But now I'm ready to pretty much finish it off. And I think I'm going to bring the two ends together and put them through one of these gold beads. You can see I have some silver and some gold. I'm kind of mixing things up a little bit. And then putting it through one of the turquoise beads, like so. Let's even up the wire and push the beads down and put a clip on here. This is kind of what we're looking at. Same thing here, push the beads down, even up the wires, add on this little gold bead, gold tone, and then add the round bead. So that's where we are. And we don't have a whole lot more to work with here. So I think we're to the point we can just finish it off. And either we could continue with 2 strands, but it's so short, I don't think we need to do that. I think instead we will just finish off with some wood beads. So let's take and put some of these on here until we think we have the length that we want. It might only take about 3 per side. I'll try 4 and then clip this off. Let's do the same thing for the other end. Of course, all the beads will need tightened up at some point when we go to add the clasp. What type of clasp, you ask? I don't know yet, but I think I want some flexibility. So it will probably be a lobster clasp. So this is what we have here, and I think that this has gone way too long. In fact, I'm not sure about these beads here, but I most certainly need to back off to just some finishing beads here. Let's use a 6/0 at the end, and same here. I just tried it on. Still pretty good size. In fact, as much as I wanted to use these beads in here, I don't think they're going to work. I think we can use the gold bead, but then just go ahead and go back to wood beads. These might work in another project someday, but they're just not working in here. So 3 wood beads. Yeah, that's why it's called jewelry design. You know, it's jewelry making, but it's also jewelry design, and that's what we're doing in this video. We're designing something for the first time, and we have to experiment with it. Okay, let's see where we are here, eliminating those. So let's take a quick look, and I think we could back off another couple beads, honestly, and add an extension chain. Putting the 6/0, 1 wood bead and a 6/0. If you like this video, give it a like, comment, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And keep watching, there's more. Let's take a look at the linear measurement. The linear measurement is 6.5, but it looks pretty good, especially by the time we add clasp and extension chain. So let's do that. Oh, a couple of takeaways from this. This is what I learned. I learned that the seed beads were falling inside the wood beads. So I had to go back and add these little round silver beads here. That was something that I wasn't anticipating. So the seed beads were getting stuck in the wood beads, and I didn't really use that many wood beads in this, but I think it looks pretty good. And then I did alternate some of the chipstones. I probably could have had that one in the center here, but I think it's okay. All right, let's get a clasp. I have a lobster clasp here that's already on a jump ring. So let's, oh, getting ahead of myself here. We need to use our clamshell components and two crimp beads to finish this off. Make sure our wires are side by side. Push the beads down. Place the wire through the back side of the clamshell just like we did before. Add the crimp bead, not tube, because a crimp bead fits in here better than a crimp tube. I mean, you can use a crimp tube, but I much prefer the crimp beads in here. I'm going to open that up a little bit, the clamshell. And using my needle nose, I'm going to push this down inside here and flatten it. Check it. Okay, before I cut that off, let's do the other end. Just evening up my wires, pushing the beads down as far as I can, trying to make sure these are not crossed over. But doesn't mean it's not inside one of those beads. It's not the end of the world, but open this clamshell a little bit. Put this through the back side. Pick up a crimp bead. Thread both wires through it. Don't be afraid to tug on each wire. Making sure. Okay, I'm going to get a hold of those. I'm going to get a hold of that crimp bead, and I'm going to push it down inside before I crimp it. Let's check it. It's good. Everything looks pretty good. I'm going to cut the wires one at a time. I need new cutters. I keep saying that. I bought new ones actually, and they were not any better than this one. Cutting down to the crimp bead. And then we're going to make sure that this is rotated properly. Close that up. We'll add the jump ring in a second. Going to attempt to cut these one at a time. And every wire seems to cut differently. Some cuts easy. These are 49 strands, so it's a little stronger. It's 49 strands, you know. Just cutting down to the top of the crimp bead. Rotate this. Close it up. And let's use a couple of jump rings. I had one already for the lobster clasp, I guess, but oh, I think I have a gold one in there. It's supposed to be silver, but they are silver plated over copper, so close it up. And let's take the lobster clasp, which is already on a jump ring, take it off of here, and add it to this end. Close it up. And then let's add some extension chain. I've got some oval extension chain here. Attach it to the ring. And you can add a larger jump ring if you want. Let's see here. How much do we want to allow? How about 1.25 inches, thereabouts? So I'm going to take it apart here. Close it up for the next time I go to use it, or I'll have loose jump rings all over the place. Here's our beautiful boho beaded bracelet, incorporating some wood beads and turquoise chips. Let's take a look at it on the bracelet cone and see what size we have here. I'll go to the first jump ring. Now the diameter might be different than the linear. I expect it to be. We were at 7, and then if we take it out to full extension, you're at 8.25. And I could always add a little chipstone or something at the end here, or some little bead at the end of the chain. Take a head pin, a little seed bead, and you know the seed bead will fall through the wood bead, so maybe I'll see if this head pin will stay on a 6/0 or not. Okay, it looks like it's going to. Let's pick up a little turquoise seed bead, then the 6/0. Ah, it won't fit through there. 6/0, little wood bead. It's getting kind of big now, I guess. I was just going for a little something. No turquoise in it. I'm going to make it just like I would a little earring. Open it sideways These are good head pins, so I'm not worried about these coming undone. You only really have to wire wrap if you have thin wire. Okay, we have our little wood bead at the end. And I think we should make a quick pair of earrings. I have 2 head pins. I'm going to put a 6/0 at the end if it doesn't fall off. I don't think it's going to. Actually, let's see if we can work in just a little bit of the aqua, if we can fit this on the end. You know, these are glass beads, so they're irregular. But let's see if we can. I guess I don't like the separation there, so let's add the 6/0. Trying to find 2 the same size because they also are irregular in shape. And then let's add a round wood bead, the darker bead, and then these cool looking faux wood beads. And I don't really have much for turquoise chips now, do I? But boy, if I could just work a couple in here. That one's kind of damaged. It might just be 1 chip per earring. Oh, they don't look right. That's too bad. They're just not the right shape, so I can't work those in. That is a bummer. So let's just stick with the wood. What would you do if you didn't have any matching turquoise? I guess we're just going to go with the darker earthy color. I mean, I have these, but I did not use these. But on the other hand, it would just be so nice to bring in that pop of color. Should I put it at the bottom? And then add a silver bead at the top. I think that's going to be it. I'm a little bit limited on what I can do because of the chipstones. You know the routine. Bend it. I wish now that I had incorporated just one of these beads in here, but nonetheless, this is what I have for earrings. That's the best I can do in this case. So there's our second upcycled boho beaded bracelet with earrings, and this will also be listed in our eBay store. Let's take another look at both sets. I hope you enjoyed today's upcycle. I hope you'll give it a try. If you have any interest in purchasing one of these, just look for the link below the video. You'll need to be on a phone or a laptop or iPad to access the drop-down box, and that's where you'll find the link, as well as a link for my tools and some of my supplies. Thanks for watching. I'm Vicki, and I'll see you in the next video.